again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today we're going to be revisiting and revamping one of my favorite stitches of shawls. This is the bottom up virus stitch shawl. Initially when I did the virus stitch shawl, it was from the top down, so it creates a V formation in the colorway. Now this one, instead of from the top down, it's from the bottom up, so it's going to create horizontal stripes with the colorway, and I'm going to show you what I mean. And I absolutely love how this turned out, and the further you go, the shorter the stripes are. Absolutely love, love, love. And at the top edge, you have this lovely scalloped lace edge. Absolutely gorgeous. And for those of you that are familiar with the virus stitch, it's just as easy, just as quick, and a pretty short repeat, which I will go over in detail, not to worry. Now, for this particular piece, I used Lion Brand Mondoa Bonus Bundle. So it was a rather large skein. And I've got the specs right here. It is about 1,181 yards. It's an acrylic yarn, and it is a weight of 3. And the colorway is Sasquatch. I always love the names they come up with for their yarns. And by the way, this video is not sponsored, but I always like to let you know what it is that I use in case if you want to duplicate the results. And I didn't even use the entire skein for this particular shawl. In fact, I had about this much left over, and I have a fairly substantial sized shawl. So, also, where is my hook? Somewhere around here. Okay, I will find my hook. I used a size H 5mm hook, and that's what we're going to be using today, actually. The yarn that we're going to be using today, this is Bernat. Let me see. It's Bernat Baby Sport, also a 3-weight, so I thought that would be nice. And we could focus more on the stitch than on the color. And so without further ado, let's get started. Row 1. All right, so start off with a slip knot and a chaining up of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then double crochet into that first chain to create sort of a teardrop shaped loop. There, easy enough. That's row 1. Row 2. Now, what I like to do is I like to chain up 2 to give us the height. Some people like to chain up 3 for their first double crochet. In this case, I'm going to go with a chaining up of 2. And you want to go a little bit loose. Turn your work. And so that counts as our first double crochet. And in this loop, 9 more double crochets for a total of 10. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this should be 10. And yes, I do double count, and I stress the importance of double counting. All right, so I've got my 5, and I've got my 5. Perfect. Alrighty. Row 3. Start off row 3 again by chaining up 2 turn the work, and double crochet into each double all the way across. So skip over this first one right here, going into the next one, and each one with a double crochet stitch. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and into that last stitch to make 10. There we go. Now the reason why for this particular piece I decided on doing a chaining up of 2 as opposed to 3 is because I think that it makes the edges look just a little bit neater and cleaner. To each their own. All right, so that is row 3. Row 4. So I'm going to start by chaining up 3 this time because we need a double crochet and a chain 1 space. If, however, you start off your rows by chaining up 3, you're going to want to chain up a total of 4. But since I'm just doing a 2 chain for my double crochets, I'm going to chain up 3, so I've got a double and a chain 1 space. So 1, 2, and 3. Turn the work, skipping this first stitch, going into the next one with a double crochet. So right here we've got a double, chain 1, double, and we're going to continue doing double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. So chain 1, double in the next, and so forth until we have 10 doubles separated by chain spaces. And then one more. You know, it's very easy to miss this last one. And if you are ever in doubt, double count and make sure that you have your 10. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. All right, so believe it or not, this is sort of the entire repeat that we're going to be essentially following for the rest of the piece. Naturally, it doesn't seem like much, but it'll make more sense in a bit. So let's continue on. Row 5. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to create big loops on either side of our piece here. So start off by chaining a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Turn the work, skipping this first space into the second space, single crochet. So we've got a big 7 loop. Now we need a couple of 4 loops. That is to say, chain 4 loops. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip a chain space, single crochet into the next. Chain 4. Skip a chain space, single into the next. And do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. Skip a chain space, single into the next. Okay, now for the the last loop, which is again a big loop, going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then double crochet into the last double crochet, which is the second chain up. And that gives us our chain 7 space on either edge with 3 chain 4 spaces in between. All right, so that's row 5. Row 6. Now, just like we did down here with our teardrop-shaped loop, we're going to fill that in with 10 double crochets. So, start by chaining up 2, and that counts as our first double. So we need 9 more doubles into the big loop. So this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yes. Okay, I got my 5, and I've got my 5. And be sure that you are, in fact, counting that initial chain 2 as your first double. From here, going directly into that chain 4 space with a single, locking it down. Okay, then we need some chain 4 spaces. So, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the next chain space. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the next chain space. Okay, now we have our big chain 7 space, so we need 10 double crochets into this space. So going right in, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this should in fact be 10. But I like to double count. Yep, all right, I got my 10. Now you could do your 10th double crochet into the actual chain stitch. Personally, I don't think that that's entirely necessary. I just let it roam free. Either way is totally acceptable. So that is the end of row 6, and your piece should look something like this by now. All right, let's keep going. Row 7. Okay, again, start by chaining up 2. Turn your work. Now, just like we did down here, we're going to do a double crochet into each double crochet stitch. So we already have our first one. So skip this first double, going into this next one here. And 8 more for a total of 10. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Then scooting right along into the chain 4 space with a single crochet. Also, actually, before I go any further, this single crochet that we did, it kind of looks like it could be the top of a double crochet. It is not, okay? You have to be very careful because if I did yet another double crochet into this stitch, it would throw off my count. You want to be very careful about that. So yes, as we can see, we've got our 5 and then another 5. But, you know, something to be mindful of. So again, like I said, from here, going to do a single into the chain 4 space. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet into the next chain 4 space. And from here, going to double crochet into each of these 10 double crochets. Now here especially, it's like, where am I going into? Well, this right here is our single crochet. So we're skipping that single and we're going into that double. Want to be careful. Not paranoid, just careful. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this will be 10. There. All right, that's the end of row 7. Row 8. Okay, so this is the last row of these segments. We're going to do our double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces once again. So I'm going to start off by chaining up 3. 1, 2, and 3. So that's a double plus a chain 1 space. And going to skip this first stitch going into the next. So that is 2 doubles separated by chain 1, and double, chain 1, double, and so forth until we have 10 doubles separated by chain 1 spaces. So let's see, I already have 2, 4, 6, 7. And this will be 8. And 9. And should be 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. All right, now there are different schools of thought as to how to get to Sesame Street. Some people, they like to go directly from where we're at now and then make a double crochet. I'll show you. I did not do a chain there. You know, skipping this single crochet, doing a double crochet directly into that first double crochet on the other side. Now, this is how I initially used to do this. However, since then, I found that adding a chain in between, it looks a little bit nicer, in my opinion, gives it a little bit more slack. So after doing your 10 doubles separated by chain 1 spaces, I like to add another chain at the end there, and then go in to that first double crochet with a double, and follow suit by chaining 1, double in the next, chain 1, double in the next. It just, that extra chain one just gives it a little bit more breathing room. And so just going to have on this side 10 doubles separated by chain one spaces, and that will finish up sort of the second tier of virus arches. And we're going to do one more tier together for the repeat so that you guys really get it. And at that point, I think that should be sufficient, because you can make this piece as big as you want to. Just keep going, following the row repeats. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. Okay, so that is the end of row 8. Row 9. Okay, so this is going to be where we're going to be starting the repeat that you're going to keep doing for the rest of your project. So just as we did down here, we're going to create more of those big 7-chain loops and these smaller 4-chain loops. So start off by chaining 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and turn your work into the second chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip a space, single in the next. We're going to do that 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, skip a space, single in the next, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip a space, single in the next. All right, then we need to sort of bridge the gap. And so as you can see, this is where we left off. We need to skip the next 3 chain spaces, 1, 2, 3, and into the next space is where we're going to be working into. Now we have to create a large arch, so we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So skipping those 3 chain spaces, 1, 2, 3, into this one right over here, single crochet, then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip a space, single in the next, chain 4, skip a space, single in the next, chain 4, skip a space, single in the next. And then at the end, we need the equivalent to a chain 7 space. So chain up 5, and double crochet into the second chain from the bottom of that last double. There we are, and that is row 9. Row 10. We're going to fill up these large chain 7 spaces with 10 doubles. So start by chaining up 2, turn the work, 9 more doubles into this chain space. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Going directly into the next chain space with a single crochet, chain 4, single in the next space, chain 4, single in the next space, and we have reached a chain 7 space. So going directly in with 10 doubles. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I always separate them out groups of 5 as opposed to counting them by 2. So I just, 2 groups of 5. Do I have it? Yes, good. All right. So going from there, single into the next chain 4 space, chain 4, single into the next chain 4 space, chain 4, single into the next chain 4 space, and for our last chain 7 space, 10 double crochets. Okay, kind of got stuck on one of the plies. That's all right. So that is what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and that is the end of row 10. Row 11. Okay, start by chaining 2, turn the work, skip this first stitch going into the next with a double and 8 more for a total of 10. So I already have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Single crochet into the chain 4 space, chain 4, single into the next chain 4 space, and then going to double crochet into each of these 10 double crochets. Now again, be careful not to go into that single crochet. We're going into the double. Very easy to make that mistake, and I've done it myself. If I hadn't, I wouldn't say anything. All right, so we already have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Single crochet into the chain 4 space, chain 4, single into the next chain 4 space, and then 10 doubles, 1 in each for the last 10 stitches. Okay, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, that's it for row 11. Okay, last but not least for the repeat, row 12. Now we need those doubles separated by chain 1 spaces, so I'm going to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn that work. Skip the first stitch, going into the next so that we have 2 doubles separated by a chain 1 space, chain 1, double in the next, and so forth until we've got our 10 doubles separated by the chain 1 spaces. So I did the chain 1 and double, chain 1 and double, and so forth. And then we get to bridge the gap with a chain 1 space and continue on our merry little way. And also, personal preference, I would totally suggest that the finishing row on your piece would be a row 12. You would finish your row 12, and that would be the finished edge for the top of your shawl. Personal preference. All right, so we should have 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. All right, so from here, chain 1, skipping over this chain 4 space, going into that first double with a double. There we go. Chain 1 and double in the next, and so forth until we have our 10 doubles separated by chain 1 spaces. Almost had that one. And one more. There we go. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. Chain 1. Skip over this chain 4 space, going into that first double crochet with a double, chain 1 and double, chain 1 and double, and so forth. Two more. There we go. All right, so just a double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. It's a thing of beauty. Love it. All right, so in the sake of being thorough and because I love spending time with you guys, we're going to do a full repeat together, rows 9 through 12. So row 9, we need those big loops again, right? So chain up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Turn that work into the second chain space, single crochet. So we've got our 7 loop. Now we need 3 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip a space, single in the next. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip a space, single in the next. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip a space, single in the next. Okay, now we need to bridge the gap with a chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Skipping 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, into that next space, single crochet, chain 4, skip a space, single in the next, chain 4, skip a space, single in the next, chain 4, skip a space, single in the next. So we've got our 3 chain 4 loops, and we need to bridge the gap with another chain 7, jumping over those 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Skip those 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3 into that 4th space, single crochet. Okay, then the 3 chain 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip a space, single in the next, chain 4. Skip a space, single in the next, chain 4. Skip a space, single in the next. Okay, last big loop, we need our chaining of 7, so going to chain up 5 and then double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then into the second chain from the bottom, double crochet. Ta-da! All right, that is row 9 for the repeat. Row 10 for the repeat. Start by chaining up 2. And that's going to count as our first double. We need 9 more doubles into that loop for a total of 10. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, good. Single crochet into the next chain 4 space, lock that down, chain 4, single into the next chain space, chain 4, single into the next chain 4 space. Okay, chain 7 space, 10 doubles. Okay, so we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and So this should be 10. Yep. Okay. Pull out a little bit more yarn. There we go. Okay, so lock this one down with a single into the next chain space. Chain 4. Single in the next space. Chain 4. Single in the next chain space. Okay, chain 7 space. We need 10 doubles in that space. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, very good. All right, lock it down with a single into the next chain space. Chain 4. Single in the next chain space. Chain 4. Single in the next chain space. And we have our last chain 7 loop. So we need 10 double crochets into that loop. So we already have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yep, alrighty. So that is the end of row 10 for the repeat. Okay, so row 11 for the repeat, we're just going to be doing doubles in the doubles and following suit with the chain spaces. So chain up 2 for the first double, turn the work, skipping that first stitch, going into the next with a double, and so forth until we have 10 doubles. Okay, almost had it, but I got tangled up on a ply. There we go. It happens. Okay, and then one more. There we go. Okay, from here, lock it down with a single in the chain space. Chain 4. Single in the next chain space. And then double into each of these 10 doubles. Being careful not to go into that single. We're going into that first double. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. And a bit of a yarn malfunction. There we go. All right, then lock it down with a single crochet into the chain space. Chain 4. Single crochet into the next chain space. And then 10 doubles, 1 in each. So skipping that single, going into the double. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost, 8, 9, and 10. Lock it down by doing a single into the next chain space, chain 4, single into the next chain space, and then finish up the row with 10 doubles, 1 in each. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Okay, so that is row 11. Row 12 for the repeat, the final row, the ending row. All right, going to start off by chaining up 3 so that we have a double crochet and a chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work. Skip that first stitch, going into the next with a double. So we've got 2 doubles separated by a chain 1, and double until you have 10 doubles separated by chain 1 spaces. There we go. That should be right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. Okay. Moving right along with a chaining of 1, skipping over the chain 4 space down below, avoiding the single crochet, going into that first double with a double. There we are. Chain 1, double in the next, and so forth until you have 10 doubles separated by chain 1 spaces. Couple more. There. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. Okay. Chain 1, jumping over the chain 4 space, and that single going into that first double. There we are. Chain 1, double in the next, and so forth until you have your 10 once again. And 2 more. There we go. Pull out a little bit more yarn. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. Good. That's where we want to be. Okay, chain 1. Skipping the chain 4 space and that first single, going into that first double with a double, chain 1, and double in the next, and so forth until you have your 10 doubles separated by chain 1 spaces. After a while, it will become old hat. And since it's only a 4-row repeat, it's pretty easy to see where you have to go next. You could just refer back to your existing work. And as always, I will have timestamps down below in the description box if ever you get lost. And there we go. I believe that's my 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Voila. All right. Lay this out nice and pretty. So very gorgeous. Love it. So yeah, all you have to do is just keep repeating rows 9 through 12 until your piece is big enough. Alrighty, my dears, so that is going to conclude today's tutorial on the bottom-up virus stitch shawl. I really hope that you liked it, and if you did, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation, as always. And stay tuned for more, because I post as often as I can, whether it's crocheting or knitting or audiobook narration, cooking, origami. Also, of course, my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, where I do video game playthrough and commentary. Would love to see you there as well. Well, you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please, stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.